What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Just wanted to say happy birthday to Saul Canelo Alvarez, who turns 23 today. He was born in July 18th, 1990. Happy birthday to Saul Canelo Alvarez. I figured I'd take some time to talk about Canelo and his chances against Mayweather and kind of think of a game plan if I was in Canelo's corner. What would I tell him, and what would be his keys to victory? So, first, let me start off by saying at age 23, um, this dude has an incredible fan base. That's undeniable. Pretty much sold out the Alamo Dome, 40,000 people in attendance to see him. Um, for a fighter who has never headlined his own pay per view, I mean, this guy has a crazy fan base. He has a whole country behind him. He's gaining popularity in the States, in the U.S., for his fighting style, for his look, whatever it is. This dude is a hot commodity. He's been criticized, even by myself, in the past for fighting opponents that were smaller than him, people that didn't really have an advantage going into the fight. But could have been his handlers. It could have been just the path they chose to take. However, his last fight against Austin Trout, that was definitely a solid test for him, and he passed the test. He beat Trout. He had Trout hurt. Didn't seem like Trout was able to hurt Canelo at any point, and he has a big test in front of him against arguably the number one pound for pound guy, Floyd Mayweather, on September 14th, Mexican Independence Day weekend. So it's a huge fight. Fight some thought wouldn't happen. Skip Bayless, a lot of people on YouTube in the boxing community said this is a fight that wouldn't happen. And guess what? It's happening, whether you like it or not. Um, as far as the keys to victory, where do I start? For Canelo, one thing he has to realize is Floyd Mayweather is a master thinker. So I'm not saying go balls to the wall and fight dumb, but I don't think Canelo should try to outthink Mayweather in the sense of wait for him, or maybe fight a style that's not his own. He needs to be himself. That's the first and foremost. Be himself, fight his style. Um, don't let the bright lights fool you. Don't let the event, the magnitude of the event, take you out of your game plan or make you fight in a style which is not your own. That's for starters. Second, use a jab. Oscar De La Hoya said it. He said he had some success with Mayweather from using a jab. The problem with Canelo that I've seen in past fights is it looks like he has stamina issues. Sometimes he looks like he gasses out in even in between rounds. It looks like he'll have bursts of energy where he's throwing crazy combinations and he looks real good, and then he'll be almost dormant for the rest of the round, or vice versa. Sometimes at the beginning of the round, sometimes at the end. So it's like he's trying to conserve his power. Um, his team says with the fight happening at a catchweight of 152, they're hiring a nutritionist, and it's actually going to work in his favor. So we'll see how that turns out. But as far as stamina, he definitely needs to do something with his strength and conditioning coach. He looks like a pretty solid dude. He has a really big head and thick neck. Um, he's a big dude. He's a big 154. So that's apparent by him rehydrating to 170 plus pounds. So sometimes people who are more massive and more muscular, they have to work on different things, and that's one thing Canelo needs to work on is just overall stamina, because you don't want to get in deep waters or in the late rounds with Mayweather and run out of gas, because then that's when you get picked apart. Some people argue that Canelo, with the open scoring against Austin Trout, he knew he was so far ahead in the score cards, or on the scorecards, that he let off the gas. There's no reason for him not to take a unnecessary risk, so he just let off the gas. Funny thing to me is with Mayweather, when he doesn't go for the kill, some people complain. Second of all, if you watch the Austin Trout fight, even though he was ahead in the scorecards, it's still not a good look. Why would you intentionally try to lose a round? So I honestly think he was naturally fatigued because he was very very complacent with where he was. He wasn't throwing a high volume of punches later on in the fight. It looked like the head movement and all the good things that he was doing beautiful early took its toll to the point where um, it had something to do with his stamina. And he was on a semi-long layoff. His last fight before that was against Josecito Lopez. So stamina, stamina, stamina. Canelo needs to work on his stamina. Use a jab. Um, if he can use the head movement that he used in the Austin Trout fight throughout the fight, that would definitely be a benefit. It's easier to hit it's harder to hit a moving target, so that would be something good. Something that Canelo already does good that he's gonna have to do is go to the body, use his size, use his force, his power, and actually go to the body and try to land some significant, meaningful body shots on a fighter like Mayweather. Anytime you have a fighter with fast feet, fast reflexes, fast thinker, one way to slow him down is to go to the body. So Canelo definitely needs to have the body as a point of attack. If you listen to expert commentators, people like Roy Jones Jr., someone who's had tons of fights, who's been in there, who's been dominant for several years when he was fighting, um, he'll tell you, he's like, a lot of people headhunt, but if you go to the body, you can't recover. You can recover from a headshot, and that's true. A lot of people focus on the head hunting, especially with Mayweather. They throw everything up top. Realistically, you want a mixed bag, if not more punches thrown to the body of a fighter like Mayweather. Again, you want to slow him down. You want his feet you want him to lose his legs. Perfect example of this would be Alfredo El Perro Angulo versus Erislandy Lara. Erislandy Lara, a Cuban fighter who's slick, who uses lateral movement, who uses his feet, slips punches, etc., etc., etc. And Alfredo Angulo was cornering him, cutting off the ring beautifully, and forcing him into his type of rumble. And he was targeting the body, the body, the body, the body. And it looked like when he was catching Erislandy Lara, it was hurting him. So the fight was a great fight for that reason, because Erislandy Lara was boxing his head off, but he was also being cornered and he was getting knocked down, and there was a lot of great body work from Alfredo Angulo. So if Canelo can kind of initiate a similar game plan and he has success with it, I think that's his best bet to defeat a guy like Floyd Mayweather. Um, be conditioned to go all 12 rounds. I can't stress it enough. Be conditioned to go all 12 rounds. Even though you're bigger, you think you're stronger, you think you can knock this guy out, you can't go into a fight with Mayweather using whatever leverage or advantage you think you have over him as your only game plan. It's not going to work. And if it does, it'd just be the first time that it has worked. You'll be the first person that has had one game plan and successfully beat Mayweather. So Canelo, even though he seems pretty cocky in certain regards, he needs to go in there with the idea that he just has to win and he has to be able to adapt. Don't go in there with thinking, I'm the bigger guy, I'm the stronger guy. Mayweather's coming up to my weight class and he's older. That could be your downfall. So I think if Canelo uses some of the strategies that I've talked about in this video, he has his best chance of winning. Again, utilizing a jab. Keep a jab out there, even if it's a rangefinder jab. I know Canelo can throw a stiff, strong jab. Do that. Jab, jab, jab. Again, even if you're throwing a jab, just keep a punch in Mayweather's face. Keep something out there. 2, target the body. Make sure you don't headhunt. Target the body. Unload as much as you can. One thing with Mayweather, it's hard to land cleanly and flush on Mayweather, period. So if you have any opportunity to have a combination towards the body, I think that would definitely benefit Canelo and slow Mayweather down. Other than that, just don't get caught up in the moment. Don't try to overthink Mayweather or outthink him. Fight your own style. Fight your own game plan. Stay to your game plan and be ready to adapt. Be ready to go all 12 rounds. Be ready to adapt. I think if Canelo uses this game plan, these keys to victory, he stands his greatest chance to do the unthinkable and in the 16-year, 17-year reign of Floyd Mayweather Jr. Other than that, happy birthday, Saul Canelo Alvarez. You're doing your country proud, and I can't wait for a great fight September 14th, and it looks like the undercard is going to be great as well. Let me know what you guys think of this fight. What are Canelo's keys to victory? What have you noticed in past fights that will help him and or hurt him? As always, hate, comment, or subscribe. Till next videos, Ego signing off.